Hi everyone. So we have a few more participants joining. So let's wait 1 more minute. After that, we'll start. Yep. So warm welcome everyone to this webinar. So today we will go through a lot of things related to the enterprise video management, how we can manage media and assets in an enterprise setup, as well as in scale and everything related to that. So warm welcome, and we hope to get to this in a better way, right? Yeah, sure. So before we go ahead, just introducing myself. I am Bibin Johny. I am the Director of Product Management and Design at Muvi. So I lead the product, the vision, roadmap strategy of the Muvi products at a high level. Yeah. So I'm keen in serving our Muvi customers and everyone who has a need for a video streaming or an audio streaming in their use case. So before we jump into the webinar, a brief about Muvi. Muvi was founded in 2011 with headquarters in Virginia, USA, and we are focused on the streaming industry altogether. And we do have lots of products related to streaming industry with mainly the Muvi One product, which is an end-to-end solution to launch your own streaming platform, and the other one being the Muvi Flex platform that we will cover in today's webinar. So as you can see, we do have a suite of product, Muvi One, Live, Flex, Playout, everything. So basically, all this covers the different use cases of streaming, whether live streaming, whether media management and streaming, whether a streaming platform, whether you want a fast channel, whether you want a recommendation engine for your streaming use case, or even a player SDKs. So we have got you covered with everything. And we do have this ready to launch products, and we do provide the entire infrastructure, obviously the domain expertise and support that comes along with it because of that 10 plus years of experience in this domain. Yeah. So, and we have been recognized with a lot of G2 awards, streaming media magazine awards, and many more, Tech Cares awards, and much more. So here you can see that in this Winter 2025 itself, we have been a leader in many categories as well as in many regions. Yeah. So in this webinar, we will talk about enterprise video management. So this will cover many things like, how you can manage shared videos, how you can manage meeting recordings, and how you can manage your enterprise level assets, everything at a scale and to your workflow. So we'll go through it, mainly covering the Muvi Flex product and mostly what all things we need when we go with the enterprise video management and what all things we have that can help you off that. So before we go through this product and details, if you take a step back, so what is enterprise video management and what are the things that we really need to make that work out? So obviously, security is a key factor, right? So it's like the basics. For an enterprise or an organization at scale, security is like a must-have and we cannot compromise on it. That is the basics. And the other one being the reliability, as in the platform should be reliable. So it needs to run 24/7. There shouldn't be any disruption, and it should be able to handle the load, as in as you scale with the platform or your videos or your workflow, everything as you scale, it needs to be reliable, and most importantly, it needs to be flexible. Flexible in the sense, as we start with a video or streaming or media asset management use case, we will have something on our mind, right? But as we scale and as we grow, our needs change, right? So how do we manage that? And how do we make that changing needs work out well for our platform? So that is where flexibility we need. We need to make sure that the platform that we are relying on is able to handle the workload that we are bringing. It's able to handle the changes in the workflow that we're having, and then able to connect with third parties, able to solve the use case as we change. So basically, these three things: security, reliability, and flexibility. That is the three things that we need at the core of a enterprise video management. So that is where Muvi Flex comes in. So the Muvi Flex is a media asset management, media hosting, and a media sharing platform. So basically, it can help you upload, manage, and share video, audio, live stream, document, playlist, images, feeds, and much, much more. So basically, all these things that can be managed from a central CMS as a content management system. So that is what Muvi Flex is at the basic level. So it's like a MAM solution, media asset management solution, a media hosting platform, and a media sharing platform. So that's a basic. So in this, as we move ahead, we will cover the detailed aspects of it. So why is this Muvi Flex super important when you come to enterprise video management? Or even if we ignore Muvi Flex, what all things do we need to care for when we choose a enterprise media management system? So basically, there are very important aspects that we need to think about, right, before we go ahead and choose one platform. So what are those kind of things? I'll cover 10 points. There might be much more. So, but 10 points we will cover today. One is that it needs an advanced video or audio CMS. So without that, it's just nothing. So that is a basic. For the basic, we'll need a centralized content management system that we can use to upload and then manage everything and then have a super efficient workflow for our team. For everything, we will need an advanced video audio CMS. And next, we need the security, as I mentioned earlier. So for that, we will need DRM, digital rights management, and then watermarking, and then geo-blocking, and password, and much more kind of security options. So this is the basic of content management at the enterprise level. So DRM kind of protections will ensure that your content is not pirated, it's not recorded by anyone, and it's not being reused unauthentically. So that things DRM will take care. And DRM is like the industry standard for piracy protection and the piracy prevention and the content protection. So these three are a must-have for your enterprise video management platform. And then obviously, as I mentioned, reliability is one important factor, right? So that we need CDN to deliver your content to wherever you are streaming, whether it is in an app or in a website or in a player, or it can be in anything. Your content, it needs to be hosted well, as well as it needs to be shared and streamed well. So for that, CDN is must have, and you will need encoding and transcoding. Encoding and transcoding, as in like when you upload a video, it is not optimal for streaming, right? So it needs to be encoded. Encoding will ensure that the video or the audio or the content that you upload will be optimized for streaming, and it will be broken down into different resolutions, bit rates, everything, and that is transcoding. So basically, encoding and transcoding will ensure that whatever content that you host will be streamed in the best possible way. And here also, there are various levels of encoding and transcoding, and we need to choose the best. Choose the best as in the advanced technologies, even context-aware encoding, per title encoding. These kind of technologies use machine learning, artificial intelligence, and those kind of advanced technologies to optimize your video and audio. So these are like some must-haves that we should be looking for. And obviously, we need the branding. We need a seamless playback experience and everything. So that's why we need a customizable video player with adaptive bitrate streaming, ABR streaming. And as enterprise, we will need to get insights of what we're doing, right? Because data is what drives enterprises, right? So all the decisions that we make is mostly based on the data. And it's not just data. We need to generate insights out of that data, right? So that's why these platforms need an in-depth analytics as well as insights generated from it. So the analytics is something that we need to take seriously as when we go with an enterprise video manager. So these are like the 5 things. And 5 more would be like, some advanced options. Advanced options as in you can generate AI-based captions. You can support multi-audio. You can support multiple languages in the audio, in the subtitles, those kind of options. And let's say if you have any add-in sessions requirement, and that platform should be able to support that. For example, if you're planning to monetize your video or audio, the platform should support add-in session, because add-in session happen in this MAM solution itself. So it's not something separate that will need to integrate. It needs to come within this workflow itself. So add-in session is super important if you are doing content monetization. And again, other options like PPV, subscription, all those things will also be applicable on top of that. And you will need options like playlist, ability to create playlist, and then HLS streaming, MRSS feeds, these kind of options you'll need. And then if you are having a team to work on this media management, you will need a role-based access control so that you can give specific access to specific team members and to ensure the security as well as the workflow to be smooth and secure. And if you have recordings, let's say you might be already using Google Meet or Microsoft Teams or Zoom for meetings, like we are right now doing this webinar on Zoom, as well as it is being live streamed in many websites as well. So basically, if you already have any such meeting platform, we already have got you covered. Like we do have this integrations that which allows you to sync the recordings directly into the CMS. So don't need to download from there, then upload it again. So it's just additional work and it's just a lot of manual task, right? So we need to avoid such kind of things, especially in this advanced AI era. So these are some things that we need to look for when you choose an enterprise video management. So that's why Muvi Flex has got all these things in control. So Muvi Flex have all these things that we discussed, like whether it's a CMS, DRM, CDN, transcoding, player, analytics, and all these advanced options. So Muvi Flex will help with everything related to this. So the reason I mentioned this upfront is that when we look at enterprise video management, most of us will think that, okay, and many of us will have this idea that, okay, we need to upload something and then we'll need to manage it. We'll need a workflow. But we'll need to think beyond that, right? We'll need to think about the security aspects, the reliability aspects, as well as what will come in the future. So maybe you don't need multi-audio right now, but as we scale, we will need multi-audio. Or maybe we don't need HLS right now, but as we scale, if you want to share it with some other platforms, then you will need HLS. So those kind of things. We will need a comprehensive system to manage media in an enterprise level. Okay, so here, if you see, we'll go through this one by one, just at a high level. So in the Muvi and Muvi Flex, we will have advanced content metadata management. Metadata as in the details of the content. So whether it is a content group, format, or the tags related to it, the description, or the users, the visibility, or you may need your own custom metadata. So that kind of thing. So that is, we need it for sure. So as a media management, this is something we will need either today or tomorrow or in the future, a better content metadata management. So that is something we have got covered. Then in-depth analytics reports and insights. So whether it is based on the end user views, end user watch duration, the location of the end user, like from where the end user is streaming, and what contents are being streamed more, and which users are streaming more, and all those things related to that. And the number of users, the revenue from ads, everything related to that. So you'll need a in-depth analytics and report. So it's not just data that we need. We need insights, right? Insights as in how much the performance increased or how much the performance decreased. Those kind of options that we need. So then, as I mentioned, we need a customizable video player. So where we will need to show your logo, your brand, and the experience, the end user experience to be customized according to how you wish it to be. Like whether it's in simple things like changing the theme color of the player or in changing the options that the end users need. So you can customize anything that you want out of the player. So that is a super important aspect when we look at the end user experience point of view. And as I mentioned, secure access management, the role-based access control. So you will need to manage the access to different team members and you'll need to assign different modules to them, right? For example, one team member may be required to manage the content, while someone else may be managed to go through the analytics, while someone else we will need to go manage the users. So that kind of module level access we can offer with this Muvi Flex. Okay. And security, no compromise, as we said earlier. So we have many options. As in, one was the DRM, digital rights management, and the other one are these like watermarking, geo-blocking, and then domain level restrictions, things like that. So you can put client-side watermark, server-side watermark, forensic watermark, and you can choose the parameters. You can do anything. Geo-block, you can block it for a country, you can block it for a state, you can block it for a city, and whether the entire content or some part of the content, some playlist or some category. So all these like minute detailed level blocking and restrictions are possible with Muvi Flex. So that is one more aspect. And another one is like when we talk about flexibility, one most important aspect is how you connect with third party, how you connect with the third party tools, whether it is marketing tools, analytics tools, or anything else that may come in the future. So we will need to ensure that the platform that you choose have the ability or the potential to connect with any third party tools. In many cases, this needs to be pre-integrated rather than we asking for a customization, things like that. So here, as you can see, we do support Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, then Facebook Pixel, and much more third-party tools. And there are more. I'll come to that, like this. So for here, if you see, we do have apps in respective platforms like Microsoft, Zoom, Google, etc. So what does this means is like, from this Microsoft app, you can use Muvi Connect, and your Microsoft Teams meeting recordings will be synced to Muvi with this app. Similarly, Zoom have a Muvi Connect app. Google has a Muvi Connect app. So all these apps are used to sync your existing videos or existing media from your OneDrive, Google Drive, and then the Zoom's 360-degree workflow. So from all those cloud platforms, we can sync the media right into Muvi CMS, where you can manage everything at once. So no manual efforts, everything automated. So that's the Muvi Connect. We have recently launched it, and it's coming to be super helpful for our customers as well. Yeah. So so far we talked about the features and everything about the product, right? Now we need to talk about how it is actually relevant in the use case or in the industry that may be relevant to you. So before we go ahead, I would like to let you know that we have some polls coming up. So you'll have an option in the Zoom to vote for polls. So if you can go through it and share your opinions, that would be helpful, and we will also be sharing those. So here, coming back to here, so Muvi Flex is built for any use case. So we have considered a media asset management for multiple use cases and multiple industries, whether it is media and entertainment, e-learning, marketing, workplace, healthcare, legal, government sector, or even e-commerce. So all these different industries have an use case for media management, right? For example, e-learning, you will want to host your video recordings, as in the tutorials, the lessons, everything that we need to record. And if it's a healthcare, you will need to manage the doctor-patient interactions, the training sessions, and everything related to that. And in case of legal, there are options, there are needs like, courtroom hearings, and then legal sessions. We need to record that, we need to store that for future reference, things like that. Workplace, we already know, like there's a lot of collaboration happening in workplace over video, audio, document, things like that. So we will need a single system to manage that. Then e-commerce, we will need to Right now, if you might have seen in Amazon, for example, they're doing a lot of video promotions, right? Video promotions and then video previews, everything related to that. So video is coming in even in e-commerce. So that is very important. Like, where do we manage that video? So even if it's for your own e-commerce website, you'll need to manage that videos someplace. So that is where CMS comes in. So similarly, there might be a lot more use cases. So the CMS that you choose or the MAM platform that you choose need to be covering your particular use case, right? So otherwise, if your use case is something related to healthcare and the MAM platform is solving for media entertainment, there will be a lot of gaps between what is needed. Healthcare needs HIPAA compliance. Media and entertainment don't need that, right? So similarly, e-learning need things like course management, quiz, those kind of options. But it's not required for, let's say, legal. Similarly, if you consider all these things, so there are a lot of different use cases, features, and abilities that we need across all these different industries and use cases. So when we built Muvi Flex, we have considered these different industries in our mind, and we have built that product accordingly, serving all these different streaming use cases. Yeah. And it's not just that we are serving anything. So we have been trusted by brands, and we are serving clients like Intel, Philips, Sony, MGM, then Esper 2020 Dubai, Unique Technologies, and even sports giants like Sacramento Kings. So here, for example, all these different companies have different use cases. And as you know, these are all enterprises, right? And they have their own use case that would fit in over here. And we are able to solve that with Muvi Flex. So that's the point. Now, if you see, if you have any, by the way, if you have any questions, feel free to raise it over the Q&A. So we'll discuss it at the end. Yeah. So what next for Muvi Flex or even for a media asset management solution? So there are a few things that are being in part of our roadmap as well as being part of the industry, like more analytics KPIs, then social publish integration, as in you publish to more social platforms directly from the CMS, and then access control, further like protecting the access control with further password and then any other tokenized security, things like that. Then clipping, editing, those kind of media level features, interactivity features, as in, we currently have live chat and polls, and we are going to add more like Q&A, forms, things like that. Those are the interactivity features where the end user can interact with the admin over the player, the video player. So that's interactivity features. And the user management. User management, we already have that, but we are going to make it more integrated into the CMS. Right now, it is possible and it is doable, but it is kind of, we can further improve on this integration with Google sign-in, Facebook sign-in, those kind of things. And in terms of technical support, we do now support up to 4K, and we are working on 8K and Dolby and those premium third-party level content and media management. So that is something. And obviously, AI assistants are coming, and we are also working into that, like having a CMS AI assistant, where in which you can ask the AI assistant to do things for you, so to get things done faster. And some cool new things like dark mode and AI dubbing editing. So these are like few things that are part of our roadmap. There are more things coming soon, but we won't be able to discuss it over this webinar, right? So a lot more are coming in, and a lot more are possible with Muvi Flex. And we will also prioritize things based on your feedback and your request like that. So when we talk about a media asset management, we also need to think about what else will come to that, right? So it may start with a media management, but it may go further into different use cases. For example, let's say right now you are thinking of hosting videos, but maybe later you may want to host live streams. Okay. So right now you are thinking of just sharing it, but later you may want to have a recommendation system built into that. So all these different use cases. And right now you want to have a playlist or a category level things, but later you may need to schedule it and have a stream going out of that. So for all these different use cases, we are going to cover a live for live streaming, player for your own customized advanced video or audio player, playout for your own 24/7 fast channel or live TV channel, Ali for the AI recommendation, and one obviously for the creating your own streaming, entire streaming front end, a white labeled streaming application. So the why I mentioned is because when we think about the future, we need to think about all these things, right? So our current use case may be small, but when we scale, when we move further, our use case our scope may increase, and we will need to understand the platform that we choose or the product that we choose. Is it able to serve all these different use cases? So if not, we'll have to migrate, right? So migration is a painful process, and no one wants to do that. Neither the customers, nor the enterprises, nor the products. So no one wants to do migrations because it's painful and difficult. So that's I chose. When you think about making a decision on this media asset management, we'll have to think about security. We'll have to think about the reliability, flexibility, as well as the future scope, as well as your use case, and how all these things will fit into making your video management or media management better for you. Yeah. So these are certain things that I want to share in this webinar. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat or in the Q&A section of the webinar. So I'll be happy to answer. Yeah. We'll wait for the questions to come. Yeah, John has asked, can you walk us through some use cases where Muvi Flex solved critical challenges for enterprise? Yeah, sure. So thanks for asking, John. So as I mentioned earlier, let me go back. So we do have certain customers who are already using Muvi Flex. Yeah, so here. So I'll go through some of this, not all. Yeah. Philips, the use case of Philips is that they have certain training videos that they want to host with Muvi Flex. So for some of the particular products that they own. So, and the catalog is too much as in the number of videos are too high, and they want to manage it in a better way. They want to get insights out of that, all those things. So Philips chose Flex for that. Intel used that for the internal workflow and the internal workspace collaboration and everything. So for the internal training as well as the internal workspace collaboration, they use Muvi Flex. Cambridge Sleep Sciences, again a healthcare related platform. So they are using it to manage the sleep related content with Muvi Flex. So they have sleep related products, and to make them work out well, they have a lot of content, video as well as audio content. So they use Muvi Flex for that. Similarly, Uni Technologies is a fintech platform, and they are using for e-learning purpose to educate their users on the fintech aspects as well as about their products. So all these, and again, MGM, as you know, it's an entertainment platform. Expo 2020 Dubai, they are using it for the media collaboration as well as their own internal training purpose as well. Sony, again, for entertainment. Sacramento Kings, again, for sports-related entertainment. So as you can see, all these have different use cases, and we have been able to solve it well with Muvi Flex. So I hope that answers. Sebastian asks, how does Muvi Flex handle scalability for organizations with rapidly growing media libraries? Yep. So I think I didn't cover it. So Muvi is hosted on AWS. AWS, as you know, is the number one cloud management service out there in the world, right? So AWS is out there in each and every corner of the world to serve the content, whatever we have, to the end users. So basically, all the content that you host on Muvi Flex will be hosted on AWS, the world's best, and it will be delivered via the CDN, AWS CloudFront CDN, and basically the Amazon CloudFront CDN. And in between, as I mentioned, a lot of processing happens, the encoding process, transcoding process, things like that. So the delivery part and the content hosting part is completely taken care by the cloud services, as well as our internal technologies with this. Okay, so as you add up more videos, nothing is going to happen to its reliability. It's just keep working seamlessly. So that is how it works. And if you have, let's say, if you have any third-party infrastructure already in place, we will also be able to connect with that. So that's what I mentioned. Flexibility is a key aspect, right? So you may have Azure, for example, or you may have Google Cloud, or you may have your own on-premise cloud server, something like that. So Muvi Flex will be able to connect with any of that instead of AWS. So it can be possible. Anything is possible. So by default, it's just AWS, but you can have your own. Yeah. I hope that answers. Yeah. Feel free to share your own questions or any doubts you may have. Thank you, Sebastian. What are the security measures in place to ensure that enterprise media content remains protected and compliant? So Mario asked that. Thanks, Mario, for asking. So we covered many things. One was DRM, then other one was geo-block. Then we had this watermarking. Then there were domain restrictions, all this. So that will ensure the content security. In terms of compliancy, compliance, that would be a good thing. So here we are GDPR compliant, as well as we are compliant with ADA, as well as HIPAA and many more compliances out there. So that will ensure that compliance part is also covered up. Yeah. So basically, content protection, compliance, all this can come together as part of the security. So it's been taken care. Thanks, Mario, for asking. Tell us what options does Muvi Flex provide for monetization of media assets? Yeah, and how customizable are these? Okay, so if you are planning to have monetization on top of the media assets that you host, there are many ways. One is advertisement. Advertisement as in you can integrate with an ad partner and we will serve the ads directly to your end users. So for an advertisement thing to work with a CMS, we will need a lot of things like ad support. Ad support as in vast tag support, then client-side ad insertion, server-side ad insertion, those kind of things. So some technical things. So that we are already supporting it. So some are supported at the content level, some are supported at the player level. So, but any ad-related monetization you need, we are going to cover. Some other monetization things will be PPV, subscription, and much more. So that may not be in the scope of this. So for that, you will need a streaming platform, right? For example, if you are going to have user subscriptions to make revenue out of that, you will need Muvi One, so that you'll have an entire streaming platform out there for everything. So yeah, but anyway, we have got you covered with all the products that you need to make the monetization work out for it. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay, so we'll take one, just two more questions since we have run out of time. Leo asks, can you share how Muvi Flex provides insights and analytics to help businesses make better decisions? Yeah. Leo, you might have already seen that we had a slide on the analytics. So I shared about how it looks like. So basically, you can see the views, watch duration, the region of your end users, from where the users are streaming from, and which contents are performing well, the percentage increase and decrease, all these things. So these insights actually help in making better decisions for enterprises. So that is how we can do that. And we are also adding more KPIs to the analytics. The last question, Jason asked, what kind of support or resources can customers expect when they're on board with Muvi Flex? Oh, okay. I didn't cover it. Thanks, Jason. So in terms of support, we have got 24/7 support team. We have got dedicated account manager to cover your needs. And we also have customization. We also accept customization request where we will take your request and we will do something specifically for you outside what the product offers. And we have EAP support, wherein if you want like a real-time support, I think this is mainly applicable for live streaming kind of real-time support scenarios. Then what? Yeah, if you need any custom reports, custom integrations, things like that, that also we do provide as part of customers. Yeah. So basically, all these things we have got covered as part of our customer success team. Yeah. Okay, so I hope you don't have any more questions. If you have anything, feel free to reach out to us. So before we wind up, so we'll be sending out a handout to you after this webinar, and we will also have a next webinar coming soon in the 6th February. So it's about streaming and OTT predictions for 2025. So for each year, things are changing. So we'll need to be aware of what is happening in the industry and how we will be able to overcome that, right? All the challenges and everything related to that. So Akshay, our director of sales, will be covering that in the next webinar. So as I mentioned, the handout I will share over the chat. Let me think. Yeah, I can share it over the chat. You'll get it over email after this webinar. Yeah. So thank you for joining. So if you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us, sales@muvi.com. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.